Welcome to HomeFront Sitrep. I hope you're in for a great show today because I'm just a veteran talking about what's on my mind and maybe yours.
You can find HomeFront Sitrep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. You can also check out HomeFront Sitrep's YouTube channel.
Buckle up, the show is starting.
Out on the edge of the battle and back, we've carried the weight and we've walked every track. From desert dust to the fire at home, we've learned how to fight, how to stand alone. But no one tells you what comes after the war, when silence is louder than the guns we bore. That's where we speak, that's where we heal, with stories too real for Hollywood reels. Welcome to the front lines you don't always see, when warriors to battle just differently. This is our check-in, our voice, our step. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. For the fallen, the fighting, and those who came home. For the brothers and sisters who still feel alone. We're holding the line with truth and respect. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. For the fallen, the fighting, and those who came home. For the brothers and sisters who still feel alone. We're holding the line with truth and respect. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. It ain't all medals and waving flags. There's pain in the silence and weight in the bags. But we've got a mic and a mission to share, to tell the damn truth, cause somebody's gotta care. We laugh, we cry, we cuss, we pray. We honor the ones who ain't here today. From basic to battle and back to the block. This is our rhythm of round table talk. Welcome to the front lines you don't always see, when warriors to battle just differently. This is our check-in, our voice, our step. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. Still heavy in dreams out of reach, full of lessons the textbooks could never teach. We're sounding off, no filter, no prep. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. So if you've worn the boots or love someone who did, if you swallowed your hurt and kept it all hid, pull up a chair, you're not alone. Welcome to the front lines you don't always see, where courage meets scars and raw honesty. This is our anthem, our truth intercept. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. For the ones still standing and those we've lost yet, for every single story we'll never forget. We speak so others won't forget. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. Real talk, real facts, real life. HomeFront Sitrep podcast, where the mission continues.
Welcome, everybody, to a Sunday edition of HomeFront Sitrep. How is everybody doing? Gunny's not here tonight. He is stuck in San Antonio, Texas. Gunny, we miss you, and hopefully you have a safe flight when you get past that delay. Hopefully you get to come back early tomorrow, hopefully. But how was everybody's week? What's up, Franco? How are you? Hey, you see what's behind me, Franco, right there? On top of Uncle Sam? You see what's back there on top of Uncle Sam back there, Franco? But hopefully everybody had a great week. I know I had a pretty uneventful, really, week. I did, of course, I worked every day and all that good jazz. And my daughter, my wife was working 5 a.m. tomorrow. I got you. So, yeah, it was a pretty, hey, anytime, Franco. So it was a pretty uneventful week. I can't wait for Gunny to get back to talk about his week, because he was out in Texas doing his reset that he always does, and following his journey on Facebook, just watching all the pictures and stuff that was going on. I think it's super cool. I think he had a great time, and we'll get to talk about that hopefully tomorrow when he gets back. Hopefully he's not too jet lagged, which we'll find that out. But man, let me tell you something. I'm super excited about something here. All right. I got my snacks up here, right? You can see them right there. My snacks right there. But I was scouring the internet and I found these Laffy Taffy sticks that are shaped in crowns. So I already took the liberty of cutting it open right before we got started here. And I'm going to take it in because I haven't tried one yet, because So it comes. There's 8 into it. There's 8 of them. There's 8 in this package here, right? And there's 3 flavors. 3 flavors in each box. So here's the box. You got red, green, and blue. So let's open it up and see what we got. So they come individually wrapped. Huh. Okay. So it's super cool. I'm gonna try it. I don't know. We'll see. Now everybody knows red is my favorite flavor, so we're gonna try it out and see how it is. I mean, I'm first off, I'm little bit disappointed because they're not really shaped like a crown because it's just round, which it'd be cool if it had a point on it. So, oh my god, that's hard. Holy cow. Okay, uh, I don't recommend buying these. Yeah, I don't recommend buying them. More for novelty. Holy, holy cow! Don't yeah, don't buy those. I gotta get it out of my mouth first. Woo. Okay. Whew. Do not buy. I will say that right now. Do not buy. I'm just gonna have them now for looks or let my daughter has them. She might like them. I don't know. But oh my. Yeah, I'm gonna have to wash my mouth out after that one. Yeah, that was not good. Not good at all. And I only took one little bite and it was really hard. It tasted a little waxy on the front end. Got a little bit of the green apple at the end, but holy cow, it was not good. Not good at all. So do not buy that product off of Amazon. Um, so I'm gonna let my daughter have that when she gets home and see if she likes it. But I'll give her just that one box, and I might even try the red one later. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Oh man. So how was everybody's week? Did everybody have a good week? I know Gunny had a pretty good week, long week. Franco, how was your week? Who else is in here? We got 5 people in here, 6 people. So if you're out there, say hello, where you're at, and where you're watching from. Tell me how your week went, man. How your week has been, and what do y'all got coming up this week? So tonight we got a great guest coming on. I'm wearing one of his shirts right now. I wish I could. It's it's the hump slip shirt with hashtag not service connected. Then I got some more shirts I'll show you here in just a few minutes. But how is everybody's week? The weather's changed here in Kentucky. It wasn't as hot this week as it has been, and they're talking about it like a cool down for a little bit. If you live in Kentucky, Mother Nature every 5 minutes she changes her mind. So it could be 80 degrees 1 minute and then 110 the 5 minutes later. So um, how is everybody's week? But anywho, so tonight we got Mr. Tony Riggs praying for you and the team, brother. Greetings from Glendale, Arizona. 115. Holy cow. Isaiah, that's woo. Yeah, that's crazy. 115 degrees, dry heat. Yeah, no, brother. I'm praying for you. Weather was actually pretty decent today. I think it maybe got into the 80s here in Kentucky today. So, uh, not, wasn't too bad. So, not too bad. So tonight we got Mr. Tony Riggs. He's a Marine Corps veteran. Here, let me go to this. I should have had that pulled up, but uh, I was doing other things. All right. Mr. Tony Riggs is a Marine Corps veteran who served from 1989 to 1995. So he's just a little bit older than I am, including a deployment to the Gulf War. In 1999, he started his first company, NeedThese, which still provides technology to schools and government agencies today. Since then, he has launched several other businesses, but what really drives him is bringing veterans together, which is one of our missions here at HomeFront Sitrep is bringing veterans together, and finding out about, the mom and pop grassroots nonprofits um, they might not know about because they live in California. They might not know about the Hope Project down in Florida, or Montana Warriors on the Water, or Kentucky Wounded Heroes, or Blue Skies for the Good Guys and Gals Warrior Foundation up in Ohio. So that's what we do, is we make that connection. Um, his latest venture, hashtag not service connected, uh, uses a bit of sarcasm to raise awareness and encourage veterans to sign up for the benefits they have earned. Tony's all about spreading the message that when veterans connect and support each other, we can make a real impact. And he is so correct on that. When we get together, one person can make a small ripple, right? But if we get together, we can make a friggin' tsunami. So we as veterans, we need to support each other and not cut people down. Like, you see the toxicity, like if you're on TikTok, or any of the other, the big social media platforms, all it takes is one person to start that negativity about somebody, and then it's like a tidal wave, So it if we don't quit cutting each other down because, oh, well, Tony's doing really good on TikTok and his business is starting to be successful. Well, somebody gets pissed off because, well, I started a t-shirt company and it didn't go nowhere. So let me mess with Tony. That's what happens quite a bit in the veteran space. Just like when I started the podcast, I heard a lot of people say, "Oh, well, it's not going to do anything. You're going to get a couple episodes in, and it's not going to get no traction and stuff like that." You just can't. Sometimes you just can't listen to the negativity. You just got to keep pushing forward, and that's something that we preach here on HomeFront Sitrep a lot of times, is you just got to keep pushing forward. What's going on, Jose? And then Gulf War Side Effects. What's going on, sir? How are you? So without further ado, let's bring Mr. Tony Riggs up to the stage. Welcome, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Devil Dog. Yourself?
Man, I'm hanging in there like a hair in a biscuit.
Well, yeah. I like to say simplified all my Marines, that's for sure.
Hell yeah, Semper Fi. So do me a favor, Mr. Tony. I know I gave a little bit of a synopsis of who you are, but introduce yourself to the world of HomeFront Sitrep, if you don't mind.
Definitely. But I also want to hit on a couple of things. So there's a Marine, Frank Mantu, who owns Mill Treats, which makes crayons ready to eat, white chocolate.
Nice.
So if you didn't like the taste of that taffy, you might want to check out Crayons Ready to Eat by Mill Treats.
All right, I will definitely do that.
Yeah, and then for the Arizona fella, we feel the pain. I'm here in Arizona as well, so it is what it is. My first duty station was Yuma, so there you
go. Ooh. Gotta love it.
Yeah. So my name is Tony Riggs. Obviously, I served in the Marine Corps from '89 to '95, like you said. I was in the Gulf War. I got my first duty station out of school was Yuma. I swing with the wing. So I go from Texas, growing up in Texas, to Yuma, Arizona. And I'm like, what did I do wrong? Drop me off in May, and then you have June, July, August. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then in August, they say, you know what, we got to head over to Saudi. And I'm like, at least I get out of here. And of course, go into 120-degree heat as well. So I proceeded to sit in that heat until the April of the following year. So yeah, quite a eye-opening experience for me. And guess what? I met my wife, married, 33 years. We're still in Arizona. So,
oh man,
we had a slight detour to Quantico, probably the second worst place in the Marine Corps, behind 29 Palms, and Yuma, I guess, third worst. We just all day like this, So had a detour to Quantico where my first son was born, and then we ended up back in Arizona. So yeah, that's my kind of my travel history and entry into the Marine Corps. I didn't get to go on a float or anything like that. Didn't need to. I was with the wing, and the Gulf War was enough for me. That was plenty fun. Yeah, his quotes.
Yeah, right. So you said you've been married 33 years?
33 years.
Holy cow. Yeah. So it'll be 20 this year. November 18th will be 20 for myself and my wife, and
Congratulations.
man, to make it 33, that's big time, man. That. Congratulations to you and your wife.
Appreciate it.
Some days I don't know how my wife puts up with me. Some days, because yeah, I just don't know how she puts up with me. I know she loves me. She tells me she loves me, but
Right.
it's one of those things. It's like, do you really love me? You know, but no, I know she does, because if not, she wouldn't have stuck with me for, God, 20. Well, so we've been together 23 years. We'll be married 20 this November, but so after you got out of the Marine Corps, you started a business, and it's NeedThese. Let's talk about that.
Well, yeah. So I got out of the Marine Corps, and I did do a putz around, do a couple small jobs, trying to figure out what I wanted to do in life. Because the Marine Corps is not the best of like getting you out and getting you ready. At least back then, a little bit better
Still
today. But it's pretty much like sayonara, go see what you can do and have a good life, right? So I got out, worked around a couple jobs. Never knew I was not going to work at any big corporation or anything like that. So I took a job with some small companies and pretty much did that till about 99. And in 99, I was working for the small company, and they said, I did this huge sale for them, massive amount of profit for them. And I went to them and I asked them, I said, hey, can I get a bonus? I know what the profit is. This is massive, right? And they said, well, sell more and you'll make more. And so I'm like, whatever. So I came home and asked my wife. I remember it like yesterday. She was at the sink, and I was like, hey, what if I quit and just start my own business? And she's like, no. First thing was no. So I turned to walk away, because it's a give and take in a relationship.
Right.
I turned to walk away, and she's like, you know what? You might as well do it or you'll regret it. So I was like, okay. And the next day I quit. I have no clue how to start a business. Just what I had been doing, which was technology sales, and started a business. Racked up $1 million worth of debt over a short period of time. Just because I didn't know what I was doing. And then I had to get smart, and a few years in, and start to dig out of that and get everything fixed and organized. And so, we service the public K-12 sector primarily, but also the local city states. It's called the SLED market. And we provide services, hardware, software, training, and so on. It's been a fun ride. I mean, I like technology. I got started in technology in the Marine Corps. Had back when Banning Vines was around, and I was BBSing way before the internet existed. So it was kind of always a passion for me. I remember watching the Patriot missiles in Saudi, and just like, wow, that's some cool technology. So it's kind of always been a bug of mine. And so, I started it. Still runs today. We're not a massive company, but we're good at what we do. We have fun.
So is that more of a local, like regional in your area, or is that national?
We operate nationally. We've done jobs from New York to California, Florida. We've had offices in Florida, California, Texas, at different varying stages of our business. But we hold national contracts, so we can do work pretty much in any state in the United States. Yeah.
Nice. So let's move on from there, and let's talk about hashtag not service connected. So how did you come up with the idea to make shirts? Let's talk about that. How did that come about?
Well, there's a little bit more to it prior to getting to not service connected. So I will tell you that after I got out of the Marine Corps, I was one of those disconnected vets, right? I just went about my life, did my own thing. And about 7 years ago, I started to wonder, like, where were all my boot camp buddies? What were they doing? Maybe about 8 years ago. Like, what was going on? And, of course, you have the graduation book, and you remember a lot of their names and stuff. So thanks to the internet and technology, I sat down and I started going through and collecting, where everybody was, who they, if I could find them and so on. Today, we have a group of 43 of our boot camp buddies on Facebook, the messenger group. And we've had 2 reunions. We have a third one this year. We're going to be doing it at the Leatherneck Club in Vegas. And so it kind of brought me back into the, to the veteran fold. And so I started, getting in, learning more, meeting, networking I decided at that time I was just going to network with Marines first, veterans second, and civilians last. I was going to do it in that order for everything: business, health, everything. Just try to go that route. And so I started that process, and then about almost 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago or so, I was talking to another Marine, and he's like, "Hey, do you have you ever filed any claims?" And I'm like, "What's that? What are you talking about?" And so he explained it to me, and then he's like, "Do you go to the VA?" I'm like, "No, I don't know about that." He's like, "You were in the Gulf War. You can go to the VA. You know that, right?" And I'm like, "No, I have no clue." So he's like, "Well, sign up," and I'm like, "Sure, whatever. Okay, I'll sign up." A couple of weeks went by, and he's like, "Have you signed up?" And I said, "No, not yet. I'll get around to it." He's like, "I tell you what, if you don't sign up, I'm going to slash your tires until you sign up, every night until you sign up." Well, tires are expensive. So I'm like, "Okay, I'll sign up for the VA." And so I did. I signed up for the VA, waited the obligatory 6 months for your first appointment, going through. And then he's like, "Were you ever injured in the military?" I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I have documentation, I have all this stuff." He's like, "Okay, we can file your claims." So that was 2.5 years ago. Still working on some process and such. And then I started talking to people, and I started hearing the phrase "not service connected." And I'm like, "What's that?" And so they're like, "Well, it's the government. It's their standard phrase that they tell everybody. This isn't service connected. You rope dropped off a rope, which is one of the shirts, and you freaking hit your back and internal bleeding, and the government says that didn't happen. You're okay, good to go. You got another back. You're good to go." And so I'm like, you know what? How do I spread this? How do I get this going? Well, I have a company where we print shirts and hats, and we do promotional type stuff already. And so I'm like, okay, well, it makes sense. Let me see if I can come up with a brand that will use our dark humor and our sarcasm to get people talking. And so I started printing a couple shirts myself that I wore around. And that's kind of how it all got started. I just by listening to other veterans. And then I started asking veterans left and right, like, "Do you have a claim? Do you use the VA?" And I mean, so many, "No, I have no idea. I don't even know what you're talking about." Even young veterans coming out, "I don't even know." And so I'm like, "God, it's got to do something." So that's what I've been doing. I wear the shirts almost every single day in Phoenix Metro. To date, I started last August. To date, 20 veterans have seen me wearing my shirts, have started to laugh, asked me about them, and have signed up for their benefits that I've confirmed.
Oh man, that's awesome.
That were not using benefits prior.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I get text messages from guys that are like, "Thank you so much. You've changed my life." And I'm not like helping them file or nothing like that. If they engage me and they say they're going to do it, I pull the old flatten their tires type routine. I'm like, "Okay, let's go. Let's get this going. I mean, what do you got to do? What are you waiting for?" So that's kind of where it's gone. I started out with a few designs first. I think there's 39 designs on the website right now. I get a lot of suggestions from Marines that are really dark.
Don't say so.
Yeah. So some branches of service are a little harder to come up with ideas.
Yeah.
But we're trying. We're still trying to work on some more. I think I probably have another 25 or so to roll out.
Nice.
So it's been really, really fun. I love it a lot. I especially love when I get a message that says, "Hey, I got a 10% rating. Hey, I went to the VA and I got this issue fixed." And those types of things. And that's what we all need to be doing.
Yeah.
From my research, it comes to about 60% of veterans never use their benefits to file their claims.
Yeah.
So as many as are, there's a lot that are not doing it.
So I was one of those veterans so I got out in 2004, the second time. And, I had a job and I had insurance and private health care. And I didn't even think, like, my wife was always like, "You need to go to the VA. You need to go to VA." And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with me. There's other veterans out there that are worse off than I that could utilize the VA. And for many, many, many years, I would not go to the VA, just for the simple fact that, I had health care, and my wife and kids had health care. And as I got older, and complications from, my knees, my back, my ankles, because I was infantry,
Yeah.
walking, humping with a 25, or 100-pound rucksack on the back, plus all your gear and,
Mhm.
everything else. And just it slowly has taken a toll on my body. So 2 years ago, or almost 2 years, maybe a little over 2 years, I started my process of going to the
Yeah.
VA and getting rated. And, I'm 60% now, 60%, and I'm still fighting to get that 100%, but I hear not service connected quite frequently. It's like my
Sad.
my my knees, my back, my ankles, not service connected. You didn't do anything there's nothing in your medical record saying that that happened in the military.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Bro, the stuff that we had to do as infantry,
Hmm.
that's what caused my ankles, my knees, my back, all of that to be shot at 46 years old." I'm 47 now. I was 46 when I had my right total knee replaced.
Ouch.
And that the doctor's like, "Dude, you're so young, and I have to have the other knee done as well." But the VA is like, "Oh, it's not service connected."
Yeah.
And it's just like, just because I don't have anything in my medical record stating that, I got injured or anything of that nature, and it's just like, it just blows my mind. And that's like, all right, so my PTS that I have. So when I first initially got rated, I got a 10% for tetanitis,
Hmm.
and then I got 30% for PTSD. And people that know me and know my story, like, they only gave you 30%. And I'm like, yeah, they only gave me 30%. What up, Al Hero? How are you, sir? And I'm like, yeah, they only gave me 30%. And they're like, well, you need to file for increase.
Hmm.
So I had to go back, and I had to do another CMP exam, talk to the same lady who did my original. And I did wind up getting, up to, was it 50% now? So I'm at 60%. So 50% PTSD, 10% for tetanitis, and then my sinusitis, rhinitis, they denied the sinusitis, but gave me a 0% rating for my rhinitis. Uh, and it's just like, there's other things that they gave me 0% for, and I'm like, that it just don't make no sense. And I love your VA math shirt that you have. Matter of fact, that's the one you're wearing.
It's the one I'm wearing. Yep. It is too.
Yeah, the VA math. I love that. I love that shirt. I'm probably gonna have to order it. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to order that shirt because, and I would wear it to the VA. Honestly,
I
I,
do.
they would probably some of them would probably get a kick out of it, but others probably not. Uh, so I'm definitely going to have to do that. And then, this shirt here, um, the Camp Lejeune sip water. I got to make sure I get it on there.
Yep.
Uh,
The June
and
sip.
and then, of course, on the back,
Yep.
not not service. I got to make sure I can see it all. Not service connected. That here I am. I was at Lejeune from 90, or let's say 98 to 2004.
Hmm.
And the water contamination that they said only happened up until what, 89, 90, somewhere around there.
Yep.
And it's like, that water's still contaminated. It's just like, but not service connected. Here I am, I got all this stuff that's going on inside, in my guts and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, that's not service connected." And I'll tell you another one that you could probably do. The Motrin that they make us take in the military, the docs
Hmm.
give us, uh, that creates the GERD in our belly. Like, because if you've taken a lot of Motrin while you were in, it gives you that GERD in your belly, and you can actually get service connected for that. But a lot of times they're like, "Oh, it's not service connected." So that would be a good one just to think about. How could you come up with something for the GERD? Uh,
Yeah, it's really frustrating, like especially if you have something in your records and they
Yeah,
say not service connected, and you're
yeah,
like, you
yeah.
know,
Blows your mind. And
you're
then
like,
here's another one that I like:
yep, sandbag slog.
the sandbag slog. And then,
Yeah,
and then of course the one that I'm wearing is
yep, hump slip.
the hump slip. So,
Yeah,
and I love the material. It's lightweight. It's very breathes pretty easily. And because I'm a hot guy, like I stay
yeah.
hot all the time, and I don't sweat very much in these shirts, which is a good thing because you don't want to be around me when I'm sweating. So, but definitely good shirts. Made very well. The material's pretty good on them. So
Thank you.
if you're
Yeah,
out there,
the idea was to keep it simple, right? Like, you could roll out a whole, and it's the same with any business, right? You can bury yourself in ideas and thoughts and never get it off the ground. But I have several businesses and of varying stages, and on this one, I just really wanted to get a simple, keep it simple because first of all, they're $20. So it's $5 shipping fee. There's no charges for the bigger fellas, and it's the same price for XS to 5X. Don't really care. That's not the point of the business. The point of the business is to get people talking, to
yeah,
get veterans talking, to get loved ones to ask, hey, were you ever hurt in the military? To get the conversation going, because the government has already funded you at 100%.
yeah,
Every single year, you're funded at 100%. And I just learned that last year talking to another VSO. You're already funded there. The taxpayers are already covering it because it's just like workers' comp.
yeah.
You get hurt and you should apply for it. You should use it. You should use your benefits that you earned. The bottom line, the dotted line was open for everybody.
Yeah.
You didn't have to, and a lot of people don't. 99% of people don't.
Well, see, I didn't know that for the longest time that the money's there. Like if I didn't use if I didn't go get rated and I didn't get money coming from the VA, that money just sits there.
It doesn't go to somebody else.
It don't go to somebody else.
Nope.
Now they might use it in other programs,
Sure.
but that money's still there.
That's right.
And it might wind up in somebody's pockets. We don't know.
That's right.
You never know where it goes. So if you haven't, and we talk about that, I felt like a hypocrite here on the podcast when I first started because I wasn't going to the VA and I was telling everybody, hey, you need to go to VA, you need to go to VA, you need to go to VA, and I wasn't doing it myself. And it finally, my wife had came to me one day and she kicked me in my butt, man, and said, hey, you need to go start going to the VA. Your PTS has got worse, your anxiety, your hypervigilance has got worse, and it has over the course of 20 years. She's seen me go from this person here to where I'm at now. And I will tell you, I do go see a therapist. I see a therapist once a month. We started out, twice or three times a month. And then we went down to one a month. And of course, this podcast really helps because for me, this is my form of therapy. This is something that I really enjoy doing is sitting here talking with, Marines like you or any of the other guests that we've had on the show, Skipper from Vet Nation Cards or Franco from 06 Reveille there, which that's his hat back here. And then, I get to meet all these different people and get to hear their story and hear what they went through or what they've gone through. And it's just like, all right, how do we, because I'm going to tell you right now, the VA, they're going to say not service connected all the time. They're going to fight it they're going to fight it and fight it and fight it. But what they want you to do is they want you to give up because eventually you're going to get 100%. It might take you 17 years.
Yeah.
Eventually you're going to get 100%, but the VA is counting on you to give up, to quit. So if you're listening to this or watching this, don't give up because keep fighting. And if the person that is helping you, all right, so if you're doing it by yourself, right, and you're getting frustrated, find a VSO that could help you. Don't go to a lawyer. Don't go somewhere where they're going to charge you to get your benefits because it's free. You shouldn't be paying somebody to do that, right? Because the
Yeah.
lawyer is going to take what 40, anywhere between 33% to 40% of your back pay.
Hmm.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
Find a VSO, whether you go through the DAV, VFWs, American Legions, they all have VSOs. Now, some of them are in VSO, Veteran Service Officer. I have to make sure I say that. Not Veteran Service Organization, but Veteran Service Officer. You want to find somebody, and you might find somebody that's new that don't really know the ins and outs. But there's people out here like Tony, myself, that knows great VSOs that could probably help you um, get your rating quicker. So yeah, definitely reach out.
Yeah, there's all kinds of resources for helping, and I've tried all of them. I mean, and you can fire them as well if you don't get somebody you don't feel is advocating for you on your behalf. Then you can fire them, move on to the next person.
Yeah.
But the number one thing with this whole process is you have to advocate for yourself. You have to be the one reading the stuff. You have to be the one submitting. You have to be the one, putting the story together, because somebody else, you're not the only one that they're helping.
Yeah.
If you're using a VSO, VFW, Legion, the VBA themselves, most people don't even know you can use the actual VA themselves to help you as well.
Yeah.
Or the VBA. So, but no matter what, you still have to be advocating. You have to be reading. You have to be going to your appointments. You have to be, following your schedule. Get the VA app on your phone. Just make your life easier. Make it easier for you by just doing the basic steps you would need to do.
Yeah.
And that's advocating for yourself.
Yeah, nobody's going to advocate for yourself more than you.
Correct.
I mean, my wife. Now, granted, my wife will advocate like crazy for me, but if I don't start the process and do what I need to do, she can't advocate for myself because she can't do. She can't log into the VA stuff. So you have to be your own advocate. We talk about that all the time here on HomeFront Sitrep. Is be your own advocate. So
yeah,
I love it.
Another thing we have to do, and humans really have a weakness for this too, is you have to ask questions.
Yes.
You have to ask, ask for help, ask to somebody, how did they do it? There's nothing wrong with asking questions. I tell people all the time, I'm one of the most illiterate people out there because I ask questions all day long, every single day. I don't feel dumb. I feel pretty smart because I ask questions. I learn stuff every day.
Now, what rating are you right now?
I'm at 90 right now.
Currently at 90. Nice.
Yep. And that's 30 years after I got out. So yeah, I mean, it's been a long road. I've had documented since boot camp injuries, and Saudi injuries that I just dealt with. I mean, I'm still dealing with today. I had no idea. I just thought it was part of life, but it was a miserable life. And so getting that all fixed and taken care of. And, if I could go back, it's one of my biggest regrets, but if I could go back, I would have done it, started, as soon as I got out. I had no clue.
Yeah.
It just, but I'm not going to dwell on the past. I enjoy helping people now, helping veterans get going now. And that's my reward.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Like, I know. So you got out before I joined. You got out 2 years before I went in.
Mm-hmm.
When I got out in 2001 the first time, I had 30 days like to turn all my gear in and stuff like that. But we didn't have TEPs and SEPs. We didn't have that. When I went in the second time, so I got recalled right after 9/11 happened.
Okay.
When I got out in 04, they had like a 2-day, maybe 1-day class. I can't remember. Of this is how you reacclimate to civilian life, and it was basically it's no longer 1400, it's 2:00, and it's just like stupid stuff like that.
Right.
But they didn't say anything about the VA, and that's something that I preached. My nephew, who's deployed right now, he's over in Kuwait right now. I'm like, dude, if anything that happens to you while you're in the military, make sure it goes in your medical records. Make sure it's documented. If you roll your ankle, if you break a bone, whatever, make sure that's documented in your service record or your medical record, That way, when you get out, you're for one, they already start the VA process. But here's where they don't tell people. Well, you could start the VA process to go for healthcare, but they don't say anything about filing claims because they
Yeah.
don't want you to file a claim.
Yeah.
So I told him, I said, make sure you document everything. That way, when you get out, you can start your VA process, start your claim, and then that way, a lot of the guys, man, before they get done with their leave, because a lot of guys take that last 30, 60 days, whatever they got of terminal leave. That way they could do the whole VA process, boom, and be rated within, a couple months to a year after getting out.
Actually, they can start a year in service. They do a BDD claim. And when
nice.
I tell you that I spend a lot of time trying to learn things, I mean,
Yeah.
I learned a lot of things about this over the last 2.5 years. And so, yeah, it's smart on their side. But what do we all do when you go check out the military? Oh, I'm fine. Everything's fine. Because you just want to leave. You ain't got time to deal with your broken foot or your arm or, the fact that you can't breathe or, whatever those things are. You're like, whatever, I'm done. Sign me out. Let me.
Yeah.
So, that's hopefully, I think that's changing a little bit more for the younger generation coming out. They're getting a little bit more education and so on. But I do meet young veterans that got out a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago that don't file, don't use the VA, don't even really know what it is. I was going in, I have the shirt for the Air Force on my site. It's falling back. Chair, I think it's chair drop or something like that. The Air Force guy falling out of the chair, and so I had that on, and I was checking into a place, and the Air Force guy was behind me, and he just got out like 3 months prior, and he started laughing at the hashtag on the back and the design on the front, and so he started asking me, and he's like, "Well, yeah, I signed up for the VA, but what's a claim?" He literally said, "What's a claim?"
Oh man.
So I explained it to him, and hopefully he got started. We didn't get a chance to connect because we're checking into a place, but yeah, I mean it's been fabulous for me. It warms my heart that people are seeing it. I kind of call it a chuckle and check type thing. You see the image and you kind of laugh a little bit. I was in Costco yesterday, and a guy, I forget, I had the VA math on, I think is the one I had, and he was with his wife, and he saw me walk by, and he's like, "Where'd you get that shirt?" He's like, "That's so true. It's so funny." Gave him the information, and brightened his day for a minute, and had him think about it. And then as I'm walking around, I see them going through the checkout, and he's talking to his wife, explaining things, and so yeah, it's got. I think it's doing its job, and it's the purpose of the shirt is to and like I said, it's not about money. They're $20. And it's a flat $5 shipping fee. But then more importantly, I give 20% to veteran nonprofits. Nice. And I'm not talking about these big conglomerate veteran nonprofits. I'm talking about the little guy that's, really doing something good and just doesn't have the resources or the reach to raise some money. And it's not a lot of money. I mean, 20% of $20 is not a lot of money anyways. But it's the recognition of if you're a nonprofit and somebody's donating the money to you, that makes you feel good and makes you want to work a little harder.
Right.
Even if it is $16 or $72 or something like that. So that's kind of the gist of it. But for me, as long as everybody's talking about it and we're increasing the numbers and people are getting taken care of health-wise, that's all worth it to me.
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure. And that's kind of, we have a shirt with same flag, same oath.com. It says marine it down on it. It's a wordplay off of, keep it simple, stupid. And at the end of the year, we get 25% of all sales. And what we do with that money is we're going to take and put all these veteran nonprofits, the mom and pops, grassroots, and put them in a randomized wheel, spin that wheel. Whoever it lands on is getting that check. Gunny and I are not keeping, 1 penny of that money. It's going to go to a nonprofit, and we're looking for the mom and pop, the grassroots that still care. It could be Montana Warriors on the Water, it could be Warriors Next Adventure, it could be Project Zero or the Hope Project or all these other, nonprofits that we've had on. And then we partnered with Elite Engraving, who does our hats, this hat here,
Yeah, that's good.
and we get 20% of each. At the end of the year, we'll get 20% of all the sales of this hat, and we're going to do the same thing with that. We're going to take that money and we're going to take the one who won the 25% off the list, spin the wheel again. Whoever it lands on gets that check. So we're not planning on keeping any of that money at all. Of course, I've done some partners. I partnered with Challenge America and a few other organizations that I have some money coming in for the podcast to fund for cameras or microphones and stuff like that, and enough to pay for the podcast itself, so I don't have to come out of my own pocket, which is all I've ever wanted to do with the podcast. Kind of like you with your shirts, you don't really care how much money you make as long as you're getting the word out there. And that's the same with HomeFront. I don't really care. I don't care to make $1,000 a month or whatever, as long as I make enough that I can keep doing what I'm doing and it pays for itself. Man, I'm golden. I don't really want to make $1 million doing a podcast, because that's when it gets crazy. What's up, Rich LaMonica from the Misfit Nation? But yeah, as my wife will tell you, we paid out of pocket over the course of 2.5 years. We're looking at probably roughly $4,000 out of my own pocket doing the podcast. And now the podcast is making enough money to pay for itself, where we don't have to pay out of pocket. And it makes a big difference, because that's money that I was taking out of my wife and kids' mouths, basically. And like I said from day one, I just want enough for the podcast to pay for itself, and have a little bit just in case the camera goes down or a microphone goes down, or soundboard goes down or computer goes down, that I have enough to replace to keep my mission going. That's all I really care about. And that's kind of like what you're doing with, not service connected. You got your full-time day job that you do that pays your bills, right? And now you got a shirt business that is getting the word out there about going to the VA and getting your health care through the VA, and then getting your rating that you deserve. Now, there are some guys out there that are 100%, but they know, they're not combat vets. They pencil pushers. That's what we call them, pencil pushers. But they knew how to work the system, and now they're 100%. They're getting 100%, and it's just like, I'm a dumb grunt, right? I don't know the ins. I don't know the ins and outs of the VA system. I don't know these complex wording that you have to use, because it's a lot of filing the VA claims for your rating. It's all about the verbiage that you use a lot of times, on the verbiage that you use. And your worst day is your best day, which a lot of people don't say that, because they're like what you said. Oh, I'm fine. I'm okay. There's nothing wrong with it.
Buttercup. Yeah.
Right. No, here's the thing. Your worst day is your best day. That's what you need to go in there and say, hey, today has been an okay day, but it was my worst day. You don't ever go in there and tell the VA that you're okay. If they ask you what your pain level is, if you're at a 10, tell them you're at a 10.
That's right.
If you're at a 5, say, hey, I'm at a 5. Don't ever tell them that you have no pain when you are sitting in pain, because you say you have no pain. See you later. Bye. They don't
be honest. Be honest in my opinion, and what you're going through. And I tell you what, a lot of veterans are like, and this is where we really hurt ourselves. F Facebook, F this, there are groups on Facebook with hundreds of thousands of veterans in them that help you file your claims. That help you navigate the VA system. Like, I have taken calls from people in Colorado, Idaho, Florida that are like, okay, here's what you need to do. This is what this means. This is what that means. All free. Because inherently, as military people, as veterans, we inherently want to help people. That's why you join the military. And people forget about that. People think, oh, you're just going in because you want to kill people. And no, we inherently are helpful people. That's why we do the service. So, don't, if you don't want to be on Facebook, fine. Create a Facebook page, put a picture on it, and go join the group. Say that you're in the military, put it in there, and go join the group and ask your questions in there. You can ask them anonymously most of the time.
Yep.
You could say DM me, call, and then they message you, and you can be like, call me. I want to talk to you about this. I don't even understand what a DBQ is, and people will do it. Other veterans will do it for you, no problem. I got sergeant majors, I got colonels, I got first sergeants, almost every rank that's like, if if somebody needs help, send them my way. And they do. And I send them their way, and they help them out.
Yeah.
And that's part of it. But, our to kind of navigate into another section outside of Not Service Connected, our community is 17 million strong without family members.
Yep.
So we are a huge pocket of the population, but we're also hugely fragmented. Like, we get out, we go do our thing, we get over into this specific type of group of veterans. You talked earlier at your intro about veterans downing other veterans because one company was successful and theirs wasn't, and so on. That happens, but move on. Don't let the negativity tear you down. Just go on and do what you're going to do. But one of the things that I found is that we're extremely fragmented, and what I'm on a mission to do is to try to get us together more, to get us to do business together more, to get us to work together more, to help out more. And I'll give you a perfect example. Over the last 2 years, I was always looking for veteran events to go to in Arizona. I was constantly on Facebook, constantly looking for things, trying to get closer and closer into the veteran community, do more things in the veteran community, help more people in the veteran community. And inevitably, I'd see them on Facebook 2 days after the event happened. And I'm like, great, how come I didn't know about this?
Yeah.
So in April, I bought the domain azveterans.com. And it's a simple website. It's just a calendar of events. And there's one advertisement for a veteran-owned business on there. And it's just a calendar. And you can go submit any event in Arizona. To date, since April, it's had over 7,000 views to the page.
Oh, dang.
Over 250 events have been posted on it. You can add it right to your calendar. If you see an event you want to go to, you add it right to your calendar, to your Outlook or your Gmail or whatever. A real simple concept. And over 7,000 views to it since April of this year. Nice. Because people are hungry. Veterans are hungry. They're like, I want to go hang out with my people. I want to go help people. And you hear that more than hang out with my people. I want to go help people. And so now, instead of everybody in Arizona seeing it 2 days late because it shows up on Facebook 2 days after the event, people are in there doing things. I've been to comedy shows that are veteran run, barbecues. All kinds of things, and stand downs, and all this, and it's all free. The whole website is free, so you can go on there and post that you have an event in Arizona, and it'll show right up on there within 24 hours.
Okay.
So it's so cool that another Marine messaged me on LinkedIn. He's like, hey, who owns AZ Veterans? And I was like, well, I do. And he's like, well, I want to start it in 4 other states. So he bought 4 domains in 4 other states, and he's got 2 of the states up right now. And they look exactly the same as the one here, just real simple calendar.
Nice.
And we're just adding information to it. I've had the VA add information to it. Arizona State University Veterans Department's added stuff to it.
Oh, nice.
City of Phoenix has added stuff to it. So everybody else has all these calendars, but you got to know all their websites. You got to know all their stuff. And why not just azveterans.com? So
hell yeah.
Yeah.
So HomeFront Sitrep, on HomeFrontSitrep.com, we have a calendar on there as well. I don't know if people can go on there and add stuff to it, but what I do is I scour the internet all across, all these different nonprofits and stuff that I follow and stuff, and I see events that they have. Yeah. As long as they create a Facebook event for that, I can go on there and I can add it, and it puts it directly on the calendar, so people can go and people can see what's coming up within their community. Like, we have the Global War on Terrorism wall coming soon. We got the Vietnam traveling wall coming back next year. once the dates are posted for that, I'll have it on the calendar. And so I do that for, all these nonprofits
Mhm.
that I have had on the podcast and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
but I think
Yeah.
I'm going to start looking at like comedy shows and stuff like that too. So,
Yeah. And real simple stuff. So I just printed out 1,000 business cards. It doesn't cost a whole lot of money. And whenever I meet a veteran, I give them the card, and on there is the QR code to AZ Veterans. And on the back is 3 of the sponsors that are on there, and that's it. And then I just watch people go to it and add stuff, and then I go to events, and people are like, "Man, this is the greatest! I didn't even know about this. Thank you for the website." And I'm like, "Hey, you know what? We're just trying to get each other together." So,
heck yeah.
um, on that other note, I get involved with a lot of things, obviously, because I do a lot of things in the veteran community. I did just launch another company as well called Major Opinion.
Okay.
And the reason why I launched this one is I feel like our 17 million don't really have a voice and everything, because almost 100% of every veteran I speak with feels like we're a checkbox for a lot of things. We really don't have any say. It's just somebody else saying. And I can tell you this for a fact. I was at a political meeting. I say political, but it wasn't political. It was politics. And so in there was a group of veterans and civilians, and they steer the direction of what veterans want. 2 times I was in there, well, I was in there more than 2 times, but 2 times that I was in there, they said, "We don't really know what veterans want." Why? Because you're not actually going out and asking them. So I started majoropinion.com, and any veteran can go on there and register. That's majoropinion.com/vets. You go on there and register, and then we're going to survey you and find out what we really want. So we can start to put pressure on the political class, on the businesses, on the different things to try to say, hey, this is what we really care about.
Heck yeah.
So that's another thing that's just kind of spawned from me just digging into the community more, learning more about the community, and trying to figure out how we can help each other better.
Heck yeah. No, man, that's awesome. Yeah, because a lot of us vets, we don't really speak our minds when it comes to things that we want or we think we should see. Um, let's see. Thanks for what you guys are doing. I've been looking for that conversation with other veterans. Well, thank you, Alan. But yeah, a lot of us vets, we don't speak our mind, even when we're asked.
Mm-hmm.
Like you go in and you're in a group of veterans, and somebody says, "Well, hey, what do you guys think about this or think about that?" A lot of veterans just sit there and be quiet. They don't say, "Well, this is what works. This don't work. So that's where we as veterans or leaders within the veteran community, I feel like hosting a podcast. I feel like I'm a leader in the veteran community of people that come on and watch the show. So my opinion matters. That's the way I look at it. But here's the thing: Skipper needs to say, "Well, my opinion matters." Al needs to say his opinion matters. Rich needs to say his opinion. Tony needs to say his opinion, because all of our opinions matter.
Yep.
It could be the smallest thing, but all of our opinions matter. So
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Well, Mr. Tony, is there anything that we have missed or that you want to talk about before we end the show?
Well, I could go on for hours, but my passion it drives me. I just say get out there, start opening up, start talking to people. It's healthy for you, it's good for you. Obviously, vet people and make sure that everything's legit, and socialize and find out information that you probably have never thought about or been told. It's there. Trust me. There's all kinds of good things out there. All kinds of good people in the veteran community.
Amen to that. You definitely have to vet people, because there's a lot of nonprofits out there that was started, and they're like, "Oh, well, I'm a Marine veteran." Come to find out, they're not a veteran at all.
Yep.
But yet they're taking hundreds of thousands of dollars for helping veterans,
That's
and
not good.
so yeah, you definitely have to vet the people that that you're being involved with, for sure. Ladies and gents, go to nscshirts.com. That's for the not service connected shirts. Go check it out. Go buy you a few, man. They're freaking awesome shirts. He's got what 39 designs right now. He's
Mhm,
working on many more.
mhm.
If you have an ideal for a shirt, if you're in the Army, Air Force, Navy, send them to Mr. Tony Riggs. How would they get a hold of you if they want to send you an ideal for a shirt?
So the easiest way is LinkedIn. It's just Tony Riggs. So you know how you have your name at the top, just you can replace that. Tony Riggs. I have a blue background behind me in a suit, but that's the easiest way by far.
Nice. So go to LinkedIn, find up and search Tony Riggs.
Yep.
Easy picture because I found him pretty easy today
Yeah.
when I found him. So uh, go at him there. You can go to TikTok, find him on TikTok
Yep.
at hashtag not service connected.
Yep.
You can find him there. You can find him on Facebook. Make sure you go follow Not Service Connected on Facebook. Go to
Mhm.
all the social medias and look up Not Service Connected, and I'm sure you're
Mhm.
going to find Tony there. So Tony, I want to thank you. I know it's been a long time coming because we met a long time ago and just a lot of things happened.
Yeah.
But we finally got you on the show to talk about your brand, your shirts, and then of course, what you're doing for the veteran community outside of not service connected and everything else that you got going on. Uh, Thanks, Doc. That's my buddy Doc there.
Awesome.
Uh, but
I
yeah,
really
thank
appreciate it. Yeah.
Man, it was our honor to have you on. For one, you're a Marine, so
Yeah.
you're my brother already. So it was our honor to have you on to talk about your shirts, and I love wearing your shirts around. I think Doc, if I ever get up with Doc, I'm gonna meet up with him and give him one of your shirts that I have over here because I can't wear all of them at the same time. But I just need to meet up with Doc and give him one of them. I might give him the Camp Lejeune drinking water one because he was in during he was a Navy corpsman during Desert Storm and stuff. So
Okay.
I'm gonna give him that one. But thank you again for coming on here, my friend. Yeah, it's been a pleasure to have you on.
I appreciate it.
Hey, you're welcome. Well, I'm gonna drop you down and in the
Okay.
show. You can go do what you got to do, or you can hang out and we can chit chat at the end. It's up to you.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Man, how cool was that, guys? nscshirts.com. That's not serviceconnectedshirts.com. Go check it out. Majoropinion.com/vets. Go check that out as well. And then everything else that Tony Riggs has got going on out there in Arizona, AZ Vets. I think it's azvets.com or veterans.com. You see events for Arizona veterans. So definitely go check them out. I want to thank you guys, all of you, for coming on here and hanging out. If you're still on here now, or you're not still on here, or you're watching or listening to this show later, thank you again, uh, Gunny. Hopefully, you have a safe trip in the morning. 05. Hopefully, you have a safe trip back to Kentucky, and you're not so worn out by the time you get home. Jet lagged and all that good jazz. Can't wait to hear the fishing stories from Texas out there, San Antonio area. But it is about that time of night. You can find Homefront Sitrep on Sundays, Monday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern on, Military United podcast streams, Heroes Media Group, Homefront Sitrep, all on Facebook. You got us on LinkedIn underneath of my personal profile on LinkedIn, YouTube channel, Homefront Sitrep, and also Hero Media's group. YouTube channel as well. Our partners, Military United Podcast Streams, Elite Engraving, which makes this badass hat right here. Heroes Media Group, Reach Across America Radio, which you can find us on Thursday nights, 11 p.m. Eastern time frame. So go check out that. Valor Coins and Pins with Brent Casey, who made our Homefront Sitrep coin. Let me pull it out of its little package here so you can see it a little bit better. Oh, come on. Valor Coins and Pins, who made this wicked old coin for us here. There you go, zoomed in there. This coin is phenomenal. I love this coin. Gunny and I designed it, but Valor Coins and Pins made it happen. So thanks to Brent Casey, who's the grandson of Medal Honor recipient Herschel Woody Williams. Um, can't thank them enough. All right, so here, I'm gonna bring you back up, Tony. Maybe so. Alan here says, "I'm looking to have a conversation about my situation somehow. I have, in my opinion, a very different VA story and my rating. I just want to vent it out somewhere besides my wife." Um, and then he says, "It's not about not getting rated. It's about the exact opposite. I had questions that the VA refuses to answer, but the labels placed on me." Is that something that you want him to reach out to you about?
Yeah, definitely. You can reach out to me. Again, it's LinkedIn, and then Tony Riggs, blue background behind me on my picture with this face, and I think I have a suit and a tie on or something like that. And yeah, reach out to me. I think I kind of have an understanding of what you're going through, because I have another buddy that has something. He says something similar to you, so we certainly, it's worth talking to you and seeing if we can help you out as far as getting it off your chest. No big deal.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I just wanted you to see that. I didn't know if you saw it or not over there.
Yeah.
So go to LinkedIn. If you have LinkedIn, look up Tony Riggs on there. It is a blue background. He is wearing a suit. It looks pretty dapper on there. So go find that. Or if you don't have LinkedIn, you can find him on Facebook underneath of
Yeah,
Tony Riggs as well. There on Facebook. So all right, Tony, thank you.
no problem.
So yeah, Alan, if you want to reach out to Tony, or if you want to shoot me an email at homefrontsitrep@gmail.com, I can talk to you as well. Um, good night there, Doc. Semper Fi, brother. But here I'm gonna end this show. Hashtag you're not alone. We talk about this all the time, guys. Um, Ladies and gents, you're not alone. This right here. I can't say it like Gunny does because he's so elegant when he speaks, but this is mine. In the silence of your struggles, remember, though unseen, you are deeply held in the hearts of others. You are not alone. Uh, so true. Don't let your darkest days win. Reach out, man. Somebody wants you to show up tomorrow. Somebody loves you. Somebody wants you to show up tomorrow. So hashtag I met back twice from Afghanistan, and I had a lot of questions about the 2 trips through the Warrior Transition Unit. Yeah, definitely reach out, Alan. Definitely reach out. So yeah, don't let your dark days win, guys, ladies, gents. You might feel like you're alone, but you're not. There's people out there that care about you, and they want you to be there tomorrow. So reach out to somebody, and then hashtag be somebody stranger. Listen, we talk about this all the time, okay? You're If you're out and about, or let me rephrase that. We as humans, we're more apt to talk to a complete stranger than the ones we love the most, right? Um, my wife, after 20 years of being married, just started learning things about my military service because I didn't want her to know the things that I went through and the things that I saw. So hashtag be somebody stranger. If you're out and about and you see somebody, ask them how they're doing. And if they give you the red flags, I'm okay. I'm hanging in there. I'm living the dream. Ask the next hard question. How are you really doing? But be ready for that conversation because it could be a 5-minute conversation, could be an 8-hour conversation. You have to be ready for that conversation. And then this right here, it takes a village. Find your tribe, find your community. I was very lucky when I got out of the Marine Corps the second time that I found my community within the veteran nonprofits that I volunteered with. I found my tribe, my community, and I fit right in because I know if I hadn't, I probably would have went down some deep dark rabbit holes that I shouldn't have went down. And I was able to bounce my feelings and my emotions off of my brothers and sisters that I met within these communities. So find your village, find your tribe. Then I want to give a big shout out to our partners. Like I said, reachacrossamerica.org/radio. You can find HomeFront Sitrep on there on Thursday nights, 11 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you go follow that. Then sameflagsameoath.com. It's a small veteran-owned T-shirt company in Katy, Texas. Matt and Becky Johnson, they are phenomenal people. Becky is the artist behind it, the brainchild. Matt's the business guy. We have our shirt there. It says Marine It Down. It's right here. This is the link for it. sameflagsameoath.com/products/marine-it-down. You can order that shirt. When you order that shirt and you get it, tag HomeFront Sitrep on it. Whether you do it on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, wherever, make sure you tag HomeFront Sitrep in that. And like I said, at the end of the year, we'll get 25% of all sales. And then Elite Engraving, which made this nice hat here. We get 20% of all sales of that, and it's going to go back to nonprofits. You can go to homefrontsitrep.com on merch, and you can actually order the shirt. It links directly to the shirt and hat directly there from our website. Clemson alumni. I never knew that it would feel therapeutic to hear other veterans talk. Hey, thank you for tuning in, man. Every Sunday, Mondays, we're on here. We have all kinds of great information with different people. Tomorrow, we got Mr. Sean Murphy with MrMotivator.com tomorrow. I'm super excited about that. MrMotivation.com tomorrow. So make sure you tune in back tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern for sure on that. But ladies and gents, it is that time of the night. I hate to do it, but it is that time of night. Like we always say on HomeFront Sitrep, stay safe out there. We got your six. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Suggestions and comments are always welcome.
Cannot wait to have another great show with y'all.
Don't forget you can find HomeFront Sitrep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Stay safe out there. I got your six.